All right, good morning. Welcome to our channel. My name is Jay, the owner of sectionaconsultant.com. I put up some information for you guys in the live chat as well as the description. And I've got some breaking news in terms of deregulation, President Trump and the current administration's approach to having HUD apparently change a lot of old adopted policies we have carried in the country for about 50 years. And it doesn't just affect, just so we're clear, it doesn't just affect the general market and Section 8 programs and housing. It affects the whole housing market. We've carried for a very long time in our country very specific types of zoning laws and other things that were all over the map. And so trying to create consistency there means that we have to deregulate. We live in a different world and time than we did 50 years ago. And so with deregulation under HUD's policy would allow further development of homes, single family homes, and deregulation of some, it seems like almost Jim Crow rules, to housing. And so I'd like to go over that a little bit today with you guys so we can kind of see what to expect. Now, I want to also make it's also very important to understand that these changes are not going to be immediate. So, I mean, obviously, the intent here is to make the changes and roll them out, but the effect is probably not going to be felt for a little while, as this is going to take some time and possibly some challenges, or cities may not appreciate it. Different cities and areas may not appreciate these new rules, but effectively, is going to adopt a different change in things so builders and developers are able to better put more affordable housing on the market, regardless of whether or not you're in a federal program, regardless of whether or not you're just a regular person out there working a job and not in the system. This type of deregulation is something that probably only happens once in a generation. So let's go over the details of that real quick. Since the information's fresh, they made a publishing of it, so I'm going to go ahead and link you up a little bit. Now, look, this is going to be just a short linkage for it. I encourage everybody to further explore it under Code of Federal Regulation and, of course, director reports. But let me give you the rundown to make this easier for everybody to transition the concept. So, first up, take my eyeglasses off here. So we got a research brief. The HUD announced a major deregulation for housing changes, and that started for June. In fact, it was June 23rd. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development announced another round of the deregulatory actions. The agency says are intended to reduce housing costs, eliminate unnecessary federal requirements, and encourage the development of more affordable housing. According to HUD's Secretary Scott Turner, the initiative is part of a broader effort to remove regulation, and HUD believes to increase construction costs and slow housing production. So these are bigger changes. So number one up on the list is key deregulation changes, and that is removing and revising numerous federal regulations that it considers outdated, duplicated, or unnecessarily burdensome. And I totally agree with that sentiment. And so HUD has stated the changes are designed to reduce regulatory compliance costs, speed up housing development, encourage private investment, increase housing supply, lower construction expenses, improve housing affordability. HUD says many of the existing regulations have delayed projects for months or even years while increasing the actual cost of development. So, second in this list will be the focus on increasing the housing supply. HUD continues to emphasize that the nation's housing affordable problems are largely driven by insufficient housing inventory. Well, there hasn't been a big housing boom out there, and the boom that largely has taken place has been for those that builders that only build things to service the wealthy because that's the only way they can make money. So this is an effort to change that. The department believes that reducing federal red tape will help build the housing faster, increase available rent units, expand affordable housing opportunities. And again, I want to make this very critical. Though this channel is about Section 8 and housing, which may not everybody may appreciate, this also speaks in the broader term and market. It means all housing, okay? So expanding affordable housing opportunities and encouraging more developers, obviously, to participate. Also, they should be able to complete projects faster, reduce administrative expenses, reduce permitting delays, and lower financing costs that are associated with prolonged project timelines. The There's a special focus on private sector, and most housing is private anyways. So private developers, private owners, investors, and housing providers. Of course, that can be a mixed bag when we get into places, companies like BlackRock and others that are private equity. But there's always a little bit of good with any form of trouble. Continue to broader deregulation, deregulation. Sorry, deregulatory agency. The announcement follows a earlier action taken by HUD 2025 and 2026, rolling back portions of prior administration's fair housing regulations. So I think this is something where they are reviewing, I think, the Biden administration's policies and changes, including former presidents. So eliminating certain reporting and compliance requirements that really tied things up, rezoning and changing zoning laws, and streamlining the administrative process across all HUD programs. And I think that comes in lieu of when we are using AI now, is able to better kill all the duplication. If many of you remember, for those of you that are here on the basis of Section 8 housing and federal programs, HUD's website was like 45,000 pages. You're talking about 2 or 3 decades of just pages and more pages, and it was poorly managed, and it was just a mess. And so they cleaned that up. It's only about 3% of what it used to be, and so it's much more concise. And I think they're actually hiring professionals to run the website. So let's talk about what it doesn't change. The elimination. So to be clear, these changes do not affect or eliminate the housing choice voucher. It does not eliminate public housing. It does not eliminate project-based housing or assistance. It does not change rent calculations. It doesn't change income limits. It doesn't change eligibility requirements. It doesn't change portability rules. And it does not change waiting lists or its procedures through PHAs or public housing authorities. Potential benefits, well, the increase of affordable housing construction, speed up project approvals, lower development costs, reduce paperwork, and encourage more housing providers to participate and increase the long-term housing supply. Though we're going to have a little bit of a boom, we're not going to have like they had a boom in China, where they actually tried to artificially increase their GDP by creating a bunch of housing. And unfortunately, they created more housing. There probably was people in that country, and so you see the problem with too much, right? Potential concerns: housing applicants have raised concerns reducing regulatory regulations could reduce oversight on certain housing developments, weaken environmental and procedural review requirements, and decrease accountability for federal assistance projects. Well, like I said, there's always a little good and there's always a little evil. This is just kind of creating a balance. There's no great way to address any issue without a little bit of balance. Okay, so let me put my glasses back on. The reason I do that is when I purchased my eyeglasses, unfortunately, I did not select the option of no reflection, and so when I read anything from a wide screen, it's horrible, and so I really could choke the people at Walmart over that. All right, let's get the comments real quick. Hopefully, everybody is being respectful, and we're not being any bad actors in our live chat. So, good morning, Bunny Bun. Thank you for the emojis. Cutie Pie. Good morning, Jay, and a pleasure seeing you. Pleasure seeing you as well. Double C85. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hopefully, you guys got the linkage I put up there. Let me add that one more time. All right, going on from there, Muscogee Land. Thank you for coming back. Sheila Neal, good morning, Jay, and everybody. Heather Bright, I don't see a boom. I see them building luxury places. Well, that let's be realistic about this. It's change, okay? We have to take it any way we can get it, even if it's a little. Yes, we should expect that developers and all are probably going to take full advantage of this. That's the problem, there's nothing you can do 100% in this nation without somebody trying to make a fast nickel. But it's better than no change. It's better than what it was. And so, yeah, we can complain and argue at both angles, okay? But at this point, if it means even a slight increase in housing and affordability, then I'll take it, even if it comes with a lot of nonsense. Okay, and yeah, we're a capitalist country. I mean, people are clearly going to want to jump on a bandwagon to absolutely make as much money as they can in doing this, and so. By no stretch of the imagination should we believe this. Everybody's going to be doing prayer circles at the development building. Okay, trust me, builders have one thing in mind, and that's making money. Same thing everybody else does when they go to work. So, let's just be genuine and honest. Yeah, there's changes. Some of it's going to be good, some of it's going to be trash. Yeah, but we all have to take the good with the bad. I mean, there's no other way to do business. Otherwise, we're just going to be running a socialist country. Tony Williams, good morning, Jay and Katz and everybody. Man, I'm here. Great stuff about time development has been raised. And it's incremental buildup. We're doing it in increments, which means we can double back. But we have a real big problem in our country. We're not like Russia and China, right? We don't keep leaders in office for 30 years. Therefore, things can change without notice for each administration. So we can only hope that as the ship floats out into the ocean on its mission to do this, that future presidents consider continually making more changes. And I think we need to adapt. We've got to adapt. This country has been in a quiet session for a couple of decades now. We haven't been doing a lot in terms of housing. We've just kind of been stuck in a rut. So, even if we've only got a little bit changing, then that's better than nothing. I just want to remind everybody of that. Something's better than nothing. Jacqueline, good morning. Thank you very much for your knowledge. Just power. Well, I wish that I was speaking on my authority at working at the federal level for housing and as a consultant, but this is more of a director's report, so it's not on my wisdom that I've talked to you guys here today. This is on the wisdom of the administration and the changes they want to put forward, and so I'm just sharing the good news for better or worse as it comes. Moving on from there, Betsy Donis, please like, share, and subscribe. See, I like people like that because for many years our channel has operated and I've never asked people to do any of those things because we have so many people that want you to push and smash every button in the channel. I always thought it was rather annoying, so I never did it in my channel, but we're starting to do it more. If you like the video, you like the content, go ahead and do what you need to do, subscribe and like everything you want. If you dislike it, dislike it. KJSMO at the doctor. We'll catch a replay. Well, I'm glad to have you back. That rewind button always works. Tony Williams, exactly, Jay. Well, thank you for that sentiment. So, quick update, guys. We posted a little information about an old cat we're going to be rescuing. And as you know, this channel is about a lot of things. And occasionally, there's some convergence in our channel where I bring up matters that are personal to me. And so, we're looking at an old rescue cat at a local business and we're trying to catch her. She's probably between 14 and 20. Um, I'm not asking anybody to donate anything, but I'm asking really is to share the story. Maybe we can get some interest in it. I like to very much rescue her and bring her here to retire. Now, many of you have had the benefit of seeing many of the cats that are in our office and in the YouTube channel. So this is important to me. I know that I work with clients and a lot of them are homeless pets and animals. So I care very much what happens to them. And so if you get a chance, visit our community page. Well, guys, take a look at the time. We're at about 13 minutes. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. No reason to carry on much longer. A few things you want to keep in mind, guys. I may post a impromptu video this afternoon. We have a holiday coming up, so that means it will be a Saturday and Sunday video. I'm weighing the options, but we may be discussing home ownership or portability for those of you that participate in federal programs, and at least one good spicy video. So we're probably going to talk about some debauchery that's happened somewhere in the nation that includes Section 8 housing. Okay, I've been looking for a good juicy story to discuss, but I haven't seen a lot lately. And it may even include federal indictments of a housing authority or otherwise a landlord. So we'll have something good and spicy for you guys to take a look at while you barbecue and enjoy your Independence Day. And again, join us on our community page. I put a lot of information there, and it only requires you clicking on the picture of our YouTube channel picture, and then you'll arrive on our community page, and you can see all the different stories, articles, photos, different things we put up. It's kind of the Facebook of YouTube. All right. I've enjoyed talking with you guys. You enjoy your morning, and we'll see you again either this tonight or we will see you again in about a day. Okay. Bye for now.